Right. Hi, guys. My name is Zane Ferguson. Um, my client's name is Deborah George. She is a 21-year-old single mother of a 14-month-old daughter named Tia. The differential diagnosis we're working with today is called Factitious Disorder Imposed on Another. The primary diagnostic features of this diagnostic um, our individual falsifies or inflicts physical or psychological symptoms upon a victim for the purpose of presenting the victim as sick or injured. And the next diagnostic feature is the deception is engaged in without obvious external rewards. Now, for a little background on our client, Deborah George. Like I said, she is 21 years old. She's a single mother, a 14-month-old daughter. Her daughter has been in and out of the pediatric ICU since she's been born. This time, that kind of brought on the case study we're reading today. Tia, the daughter, was in the ICU for 4 days, treated for various different rare infections, up to 6 during this 4 day stay. It was during this admission that the doctors at the hospital kind of became a little suspicious of Deborah. She was acting almost happy and kind of giddy that her daughter was receiving care and that she was, violently ill for an infant, which is really dangerous. She was throwing up and things of that nature, which, if it's bad enough, can, kill an infant. So her mood didn't really match the situation that her daughter was in. Deborah would stay by Tia's bedside the whole time she was in the hospital. She wouldn't go home, rest, take a shower, or anything. And that the doctors kind of started to figure out that, maybe the daughter's worsening conditions were because of the mother. They thought that maybe the mother, Deborah, was exposing Tia to different infectious materials. Once they removed Deborah from the room and cut off all communication, Tia actually improved almost immediately. Within 24 hours, the daughter was sitting up, drinking from a bottle, smiling and laughing, with no symptoms of what she previously had. And another 24 hours passed, and they believed she was healthy enough to go home. In this case, she was discharged into the care of a foster family, where she continues to be held today, and she's doing fine. So after this, it was kind of figured out that, and Deborah actually admitted to poisoning her daughter through her bottle, putting different infectious chemicals and whatnot into the bottle. And this is kind of where Deborah's background comes into play. She grew up in a neglectful and abusive family. Her father was a drunk and came home and beat her one day as a child. And she was actually sent to the ICU as a child. And this is where Deborah got the most attention she'd ever gotten in her life. She felt, this is kind of where she wanted to be. She even said that she wanted to live in the hospital forever. It was some of her fondest memories. And so she kind of associates hospital and hospital care with the best time of her life. And that is a little background on Deborah George, the mother, who's 21 years old. The multi-axial diagnosis we're looking at today. Axis 1 is factitious disorder imposed on another. Axis 2 is none. Axis 3 is also none. Axis 4 is physical abuse by father and raised in a negligent home. And Axis 5 contains her GAF score of 48. If we head down now to the theoretical perspectives, the first one is the behavioral perspective. And it states, most factitious disorders tend to come from a faulty learning experience. And in Deborah's case, she made the connection between being in a hospital setting and receiving the attention that she so dearly craved and deserved, frankly. When she often faked her daughter's illness, she fell victim to operant conditioning. Basically, in this case, each time Deborah faked her daughter's illness, she was rewarded with the positive, in her mind, positive attention from the hospital staff in response to her daughter. When she grew up, she was abused by a father, like I said, and the care that she received when admitted to the hospital as a child still is seen as the fondest memory for her, and it's a very positive memory. Next, we go down to the cognitive perspective. And this one states, the thought process behind Deborah's act is all wrong. She has an irrational belief that purposefully injuring or sickening somebody else, and in this case her daughter, her infant daughter, is a viable and acceptable option for getting her own needs met. Not only is this incredibly selfish, but is dangerous and frankly illegal. She does not process the thought. She does not possess the thought process needed to recognize that what she is doing or for herself is negatively impacting another person so heavily. That was the cognitive perspective. Our last one here is a family perspective. In this client's case, the environment in which she was raised was abusive and non nurturing. So when she was admitted to the hospital, she finally received the nurturing care that kids deserve and need. Because she associates this so heavily with the hospital and the positive memories that come along with it, she decided, she poisoned her own daughter um, in order to get access to the hospital and receive that care that she thought would come along with it. And that's where she was wrong. That is my presentation on Deborah George. Thank you.